Let's get a wrap-up of the international news. Simon Pusey is standing by with Around the World in 5.
Good evening from the Channel's newsroom here in London. The US State Department has ordered all non-emergency government staff to leave Iraq urgently. The move comes as tensions escalate with Iran. Last week, Washington said it had detected new and urgent threats from the country. USS Abraham Lincoln has also arrived in the Middle East, with the Navy saying it's positioning itself to protect US forces and interests in the region and to deter any aggression. America sharply increased sanctions against Tehran after President Trump withdrew from the nuclear deal. The latest development will fuel fears of a war, but both the US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei have both said they don't want that to happen.
بنا نیست انجام بگیره و انجام هم نخواهد گرفت به توفیق الهی. نه ما دنبال جنگیم، اونا هم به صرفشون نیست که دنبال جنگ باشن. میدونن که به صرفشون نیست.
We're looking for Iran to behave like a normal country, and that's our ask. And we have applied pressure to the leadership of the Islamic Republic of Iran to achieve that. We fundamentally do not seek a war with Iran. We've also made clear to the Iranians that if American interests are attacked, we will most certainly respond in an appropriate fashion.
Sudan's ruling military leaders have reached an agreement with the opposition alliance, announcing a 3-year transition period to a civilian government. The alliance will hold 2/3 of the seats on the Legislative Council, but a deal is yet to be made on the top tier of power, the Sovereign Council, where both sides want a majority. A joint committee has also been formed to investigate the shooting of protesters who've been camped outside the Defense Ministry for more than a month, demanding immediate change. A woman in Las Vegas has been charged with murder after she pushed an elderly man off a bus. A warning: the video we're about to show you contains images that some people may find distressing. It shows the incident and the moment of impact. In CCTV released by police, you can see the suspect, 25-year-old Kadesha Bishop, and the victim arguing as the vehicle stops to let passengers off. As the man moves to leave, he's pushed and he lands face down on the ground. It happened on April the 23rd, and he took himself to hospital later that night. His family says he died from his injuries last week. Investigators are trying to establish the cause of a mid-air collision which killed 6 people in Alaska. The sightseeing planes were carrying passengers from a Princess Cruises ship. 10 people on board one of the aircraft survived and were taken to hospital. The victims include 4 Americans, a Canadian and an Australian.
We'll be looking at the training and qualifications of the pilots, any medical issues, whether flight plans were filed with the company or the Federal Aviation Administration.
The British Prime Minister's Brexit deal is returning to Parliament for yet another vote. The withdrawal bill has already been rejected 3 times. The vote will take place at the start of next month, the same week that US President Donald Trump is due to visit the UK.
Is it clear that this is the last chance saloon for the withdrawal agreement in its current form? That is to say, it's the last chance that the Commons will get you to vote on it.
If the House of Commons does not approve the WAP, then the Barnier deal is dead in that form, and I think the House will have to then address a much more fundamental question between whether it will pursue and communicate on a New Deal option or whether it will revoke.
World leaders are set to consider new measures to tackle terrorism. New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern will co-chair a meeting with the French President Emmanuel Macron. They're launching the Christchurch Call, a campaign designed to eliminate terrorist and extremist content online. Facebook came under fire for failing to react quick enough when a gunman live-streamed his attack, which killed 51 people in March.
We're here to listen, we're here to engage, and we're really looking forward to the dialogue. We think that these are principles that everyone, including Google, can get behind, and we can come together with governments to make sure that we can reduce harmful content online.
A Bulgarian boxer has been suspended for kissing and groping a reporter.
If Tyson Fury gets through Tom Schwartz, do you think you should have a shot?
Yes.
Absolutely. All right. All right.
Kubrat Pulev grabbed Jennifer Rivolo's face during an interview moments after winning a fight in March. He's also been ordered to attend sexual harassment prevention classes and pay a $2,500 fine before he can fight again in the state of California. And finally, a new record has been set for a Claude Monet, with a painting from his celebrated Haystack series being sold for $110.7 million. The buyer, who hasn't been identified, beat 5 other bidders in an 8-minute auction in New York. And that's your international news around the world in 5.
Many thanks indeed, Simon. Time now for sports news with Ayotunde Balogun.
Many thanks, Gimba. Rangers International Football Club have become the first team to qualify for the NPFL Super 6 playoffs following a 1-0 victory over Bendel Insurance FC in Enugu. Substitute Felix Obuke scored the only goal of the game in the 85th minute. The win takes Rangers' points tally to 37 points from 20 games, meaning they will feature in the postseason regardless of the outcome of their 2 remaining games. Elsewhere, Niger Tornadoes pipped MFM 1-0, while Abia Warriors edged El Kanemi Warriors by 2-1. Persistent rain in Rome has resulted in the cancellation of today's play at the Italian Open. Now, 12 men's singles and 5 doubles matches were originally scheduled, with Novak Djokovic, Rafa Nadal and Roger Federer set to play their second-round opening games. World number 1 Djokovic will face off against Denis Shapovalov, while Nadal will open his title defense against Jeremy Chardy. Federer, in his first Rome match since 2016, will play João Sousa when action resumes tomorrow. The World Anti-Doping Agency has put forward Poland's sports minister Witold Bańka as its candidate to be the body's next president. Now, the decision to choose the 34-year-old former sprinter was made by WADA's public authorities in a special meeting in Montreal. The current head of WADA is the 78-year-old Craig Reedy, who has served 2 terms in office and is due to step down in December. Germany's Pascal Ackermann has claimed his second stage win at this year's Giro d'Italia as former champion Tom Dumoulin withdrew because of injury. On a day of driving rain throughout, Ackermann negotiated surface water before timing his sprint to perfection to beat Fernando Gaviria by half a wheel. Primož Roglic retains the overall lead. That's 35 seconds ahead of Simon Yates.
Signore e signori, gli applausi per Pascal Ackermann.
And that's sports news. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Gimba will be back with the rest of the news at 10.
And the main news again. The Presidential Electoral Petition Tribunal today adjourned till May the 22nd hearing of application from the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, and its candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, challenging President Muhammadu Buhari's electoral victory in February. Also today, the State High Court in Kano has ordered Governor Ganduje and Emir Muhammadu Sanusi to maintain status quo in respect of an interim order restraining the appointment of 4 new emirates. Lawmakers in the Senate today screened and cleared Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele for a 5-year second term in office. And that's all has been on the news at 10 tonight. I want to thank you so much indeed for watching. On behalf of all of us here, have a splendid night. Good night.